University of Arizona is one of a long line of universities across the country where pro-Palestinian protesters refused police orders to move out, and police moved in to remove them by force. Pro-Palestinian protesters set up tents and canopies in a grove of olive trees just inside the university's main gate. University of Arizona police told them they would be trespassing if any of it remained after 10:30 at night. The night before, protesters removed an encampment on the university's main mall. U of A fenced that area soon after. But on this night, 10:30 went, and the encampment stayed. Shortly after 2 a.m., our cameras caught state troopers putting on gas masks. Some protesters threw water bottles at law enforcement as a combined force of university police, Tucson police, sheriff's deputies, and state troopers forced the protesters out of the encampment, down the street, and away from the area. Dietz says he was at a peaceful gathering that did not deserve that police response.
I think that it was quite extreme, particularly because whilst there has been arrests on other campuses, the use of tear gas and rubber bullets, particularly after only 2 nights of protesting, was quite a jump in escalation, I believe.
At noon, protesters were back along the U of A mall talking about the night and how they plan to keep pushing for Palestine and for the University of Arizona to cut any ties to weapons manufacturers. In a written statement, U of A President Dr. Robert Robbins said police tried to negotiate a peaceful exit for the demonstrators, but protesters and counter-protesters eventually reached Park Avenue and created a large, volatile crowd. He said, in part, as officers attempted to move protesters off Park Avenue, many physically resisted, and additional projectiles were once again thrown at close range at officers. Due to the dangerous actions of the protesters, law enforcement had little choice but to take significant measures, including the wearing of tactical safety gear and a minimal use of pepper balls and rubber bullets to disperse the crowd and to protect themselves and others while clearing the area. Dr. Robbins says all future large gatherings will require a permit and says the university will hold to a zero-tolerance policy that could lead to taking action without warning against any violators. At the University of Arizona, Craig Smith, KGUN 9. It's difficult to get a good estimate of exactly how many people were there. What the protesters told us was that 30 people stayed behind and specifically risked arrest for not breaking down that camp. But by some estimates, there were a matter of hundreds of people when you take protesters, counter-protesters, and general onlookers. Now, of all of those people, there were 4 arrests for trespassing. One of those people was also charged with aggravated assault on a police officer, but that charge was dropped in their first court appearance. Heidi?